Hey there, this is how to grow your hair long. Lots of people have asked me about how I grew my hair long because when it's not up, it's uh, it's down, and it's pretty long at this point. Uh, I think this is more than 3 feet long. Okay, so one of the things to remember when you're growing your hair long is to find yourself a good brush. This is my favorite kind of brush. It's a bass brush, and if you see it, it's got these tiny little bristles and natural bristles. And I don't know if you know anything about hair, but um, when you brush your hair with this sort of a thing, it goes through your hair really, really easily, and so you don't really have to worry about pulling your hair. One of the techniques of brushing hair is to hold on to it so that you're not pulling your hair out of the root. Because when you brush your hair from here and you run into a snag, it's much more difficult to get it gone than if you work the snag out from the end and then work a little bit up and then do it again and then work it a little bit up till you get it to the point where you can actually brush the whole thing. So a lot of people say you should brush your hair 100 times a day, but I try to avoid brushing my hair because every time you do something to your hair, you break it. It isn't that you break your hair, it's that you pull your hair out from the root. And like for instance, you see that I have a lot less hair on this side than I have on this side. Actually, it's not that much different, um, but you can't pull your hair out from the root, and so that means you want to totally avoid brushing your hair whenever you are just wet from the shower. Never brush your hair wet. That's the best way to stretch the hair shafts. If you brush your hair wet, if it's dry, my hair has quite a lot of strength. But if it were wet and I did this to it and I pulled on it, it would stretch. And it's the stretching that makes your hair break off. You can see that even though my hair is long, I don't know if you can really see it, but there is hardly any breakage on it. And that's because when I cut my long hair, I I brush it so my head's hanging over and I brush it all up like this and then I cut it straight off. And that's how I get it to be kind of I cut it myself. So that's the other thing is never let anyone cut your hair. If they say, "Oh, we'll just trim it a little," don't do it. Cut it yourself. And like I said, the way to cut it yourself is to brush your hair over in this direction, so all of your hair is pointing this direction, and then just snip it off straight. And then when you have it go back, your hair will have a nice feather to it on the ends. It won't just be a blunt cut on the end. So the other thing you want to do, of course, whenever you want to grow your hair long, you wash it with really nice conditioner. I like to uh, wash it with a conditioner, shampoo, and then also put conditioner on it. So you're double conditioning it every time you wash it. Now, a lot of us like to have clean hair and they like it to smell good and everything, but it's actually better for your hair if you don't wash it very often. So, it's that kind of thing where you think, oh, I want to wash my hair. Well, wait another day. And that's the time to brush your hair out. And so the oils get all the way down to the ends of your hair. And then we have the other thing that you need to do if you're going to grow your hair long is you eliminate every single thing that is in your environment that might break your hair off. This is like little screws that you walk by and your hair gets caught on them and rips them out. But it's also things like you you completely eliminate rubber bands from your hair because if you use a rubber band, what you end up with is this sort of a thing where your hair breaks off right on the edge of the thing. I had this, I thought, oh, I'll use these silicone bands. they're really gentle for my hair. Well, they broke my hair off. Anyway, so even though it's not really fashionable, I always use these covered cloth ones if I want to do something like braid my hair or just tie it back or something. And then when they pull out, they're not pulling your hair out with it. So then, what else can I show you? Oh, I can show you what these bristles do. This is a natural bristle. It's made by Bass, and it has these very flexible little things. You'll notice the little things on the top don't have a ball on them. The ones with a ball will rip your hair out, but these things are actually quite, um, you can see they move away from my finger quite easily. And then the bottom part here, all this part along here, that's natural bristle. So that gets the oils in your hair. And you're going to want to wash this brush every once in a while, because what the brush mainly does is it takes the dust out of your hair. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, oh, I also wanted to show you, some people say, well, how do you put your hair up in a bun like that? I'm going to do that. So I'm going to show you, it's basically, you gather your hair up with your hands like this, and you, of course, get it kind of nice there, and then you use your hand to hold on to it, but use your other hand to twist your hair around your hand like this. And then when you get it about halfway down, I got about halfway here, you hold on to this hand, and you twist your hand like that, so you put your hand in between, through the loop that you make. So basically you're making an overhand loop like that, and you're just pulling the rest of your hair through the loop. So you got something that looks like this. Then you don't want to turn it into a knot, because this is going to be the outside of your bun. So what you want to do is leave it kind of open. And normally it would be, if you kept going, it would go like this. But what you want to do is go the opposite way. So if it's tied this way, you would normally want to go like that. So if you go the opposite way, the bun will hold in place easier. So then you just, it helps if you wind your hair up a little bit more. And you go around as many times as your hair is long. And then, if you can do it, you find the middle of your hair and use your thumb like this to push your hair through the middle of your knot. And if your knot's pretty tight, it will hold your hair. You can see that. And then you have a bun. You can also turn it in various directions, and you can feel it. You can feel how tight it is by shaking your head, so you know how long it's going to last. This one will probably last about a couple of hours. They can last as long as 5 hours if you pull them tight enough when you're making them. Or if you're, another way to make your hair stay after you do a bun is to do the bun first and then get your hair wet. And if you live in a hot place like I do here in Hawaii, you have a nice air conditioning on the top of your head all day, because your bun will stay all tied up and moist. Okay, so this has been advice from Frances about how to grow your hair long. And I hope you've enjoyed it. Okay, until next time, aloha.